going live. So let me set that up and get that link in there. And then if you want, you can just share that or, copy it or whatever and put those links into yours.
Okay.
Let me get it.
Do that then.
All right. Man, I haven't been doing this in a while. Just I know you know what your dad's been up to. We've just been super busy. But it's cool, man. It's going to be exciting stuff here in a little bit. Okay, so my post is up there if you want to use it, or if you want to just copy it, you can copy those links.
All right. I'll do that.
Right, so we are live.
Okay. That post.
So since Tim, I don't know, Tim, are you just listening right now, or are you able to talk right now? No, he's teaching. Looks like.
Hold on, sorry, I'm having some link issues with my post.
Oh, that's fine.
Because sometimes I post the video and it doesn't really have the thumbnail, so I'm trying to learn how to do that. So it looks better.
Yeah, so if you look at my post,
okay.
If you look at my post, just highlight both of those links, and then what I do is when I post those links, the Zoom logo will come up. I just hit the X and just leave the link. I delete the logo and just keep the two links.
Okay, I think I got it to work now.
Sweet. So. Let's go look.
Yes.
Let's see. There we go. Yep. Cool. You got it. So what I'll do is, as we're talking, if if anybody wants to join, as you guys are listening to this, if any teacher wants to join and get in the conversation, please leave a comment on. It'll probably be easier to leave a comment on mine because I'll just be looking back and forth at the computer, and Monique will be interviewing. So if you would like to, come on and talk for a few minutes, just message IEG teachers, just message if you would like to come on and talk for a little bit. Okay.
Sounds good. All right, so thank you all, whoever's tuning in, and thank you Teacher Andy and Teacher Tim for helping me coordinate this. So I am currently in a master's program for psychology, and part of that program is that I need to conduct a study for my thesis. So I was like, I need a sample of people. I think it would be really cool to do a study with IEG. So in order for me to do a study, I first want to learn more about IG, engage with you guys, have a conversation, and just learn more about your philosophy, what you guys find is your strengths and weaknesses as a group, certain input like that. So I could sort of formulate and brainstorm exactly what it is that I want to study for my thesis.
Okay.
So, yeah.
That's a loaded question.
I have a whole list of questions.
Yeah, great,
So
great.
yeah, so I would love everyone who is willing to participate. Of course, you don't need to if you don't want to. It's completely optional, of course.
Mhm.
So if you don't feel comfortable answering questions or participating in any of this, no worries. But if you do want to be involved, I would love to hear everything that you guys, you know, feel IEG is all about, basically. So,
Awesome. I think that some teachers probably will listen to this later.
mhm,
So teachers, if you want to still answer some of those questions, answer them in the comments so that Monique can come back and check this out, because I think this is a great idea to
yeah.
kind of get to know IEG. So let me kind of explain a little bit. This is a wonderful time for this conversation to happen. We've been kind of out of web talk and not doing lives all the time and stuff because we've been working on some other things that aren't IEG related but will benefit IEG. So this is a great time to kind of come back and get back in there and do a live and have people see this and hear a little bit about IEG. Um, Tim, I don't know if he can say the name, but I believe that the name is Teacher Amin. Um, was kind of the teacher that came up with the IEG name, the Innovative English Global.
Okay.
Now, that he and Tim met through a sports app that actually went away for a while, and it's actually coming back, and so that's awesome. We're gonna, be back in that as well. They met in a sports app called FireFan. I met Tim through another teacher in FireFan as well, and this was about 4 or 5 years ago now. I was living in Abu Dhabi, and you know, started playing in a sports app, and then started noticing that there's these, different groups, and one of the groups was a group that was just a bunch of people from around the world, mostly in Asia, but of people around the world that were in and talking to each other and interacting. And Tim and I started talking and got introduced by a teacher, and um, he said, you guys need to talk. You guys have a lot of the same kind of ideals. And um, for myself, I've always had kind of a goal to, I've always said that I would love to have a building where all the teachers that I've met in my career that are the amazing teachers, the friends of mine, I could just grab them all and throw them in one building and have just an
Hmm.
amazing school, from administrators to teachers to, para to everything. Because I've met people from many different places, and I just have a lot of connections with teachers, and I've been teaching for 20 years, so I've met a lot of people, and I just had this goal in my life that would be so cool. Well, I started talking to Tim, and he started talking about how he is connecting teachers with students that want to learn English. And so that was just an incredible thing to hear. Tim, and you can, if Tim has, time, Tim, you can jump in anytime, and I'll keep talking later. I know that you've got class. So if you want to jump in at any time, that's fine. So we started, talking and learning more about each other through the sports app. And we just, it was crazy because he says, well, I've got all these students and all these teachers, and they're interacting and they're learning from each other. And I'm thinking, man, this is kind of crazy. This is kind of what I'm about. Like, I want to help teachers and help students. And so we kind of keep working on developing this plan of, people being able to learn English for free. Does that mean doing nothing? No. It just means you don't have to pay out of your pocket if you don't want to. And he had people donating money because they realize the value of this. If you think about most people, when they have a tutor, it's going to cost them $15-20 an hour to have a tutor. Well, if you're with IEG and you're getting education, learning from teachers all over the world, and they're doing it for nothing, well, you're saving $15 to $20 every hour. So some people would say, oh man, I'm so happy with this, let me donate something. And he would take these donations and put them back to the teachers. And so teachers started getting paid through this. And, we continued working on this. And then Web Talk shows up. And, it's been about 4 or 5 years of being part of Web Talk and seeing this vision of what Web Talk is going to be and understanding that Web Talk is going to pay the users. Well, this is perfect. If we interact with our teachers, we're paying them without having to spend our money. And it has just blossomed into this massive group of teachers who teach multiple languages, multiple subjects in multiple countries. We're, 65 countries deep right now. Students from around the world involved with each other. It is an incredible thing that's going on right now. And, it's just exciting when people come in and say, I just want to be a teacher, but what do I have to do? And the best part about it is we say, whatever you want. Most teachers are having to teach things that they don't really care about. Most teachers are having to be at school all day long and then plan all night and grade all morning and do this and do that. This is different. This is what you want to do. How do you want to kind of schedule your life and schedule yourself as a teacher? And what's beautiful about this is this isn't about a teacher that has a teaching certificate. There's plenty of those teachers in here, but there's also people that are teaching that don't have a teacher's license, but they're teaching the world. And then what's beautiful about it is within the IEG group, we have people that are, grandmas and grandpas, and then we have, 7, 8-year-old kids that are teaching children's classes. And then we have, an example is a 14-year-old that is he's just brilliant. And he's learned how to, develop these classes, and he's bringing people in and he's teaching them and giving them knowledge. And it's unbelievable what this is. And we're just growing this whole IEG community to where it has become an ecosystem. And it's not just teachers and students anymore. It's businesses. It's going to be travel when the travel portal comes in. We've created these groups already. We're developing this entire world of people that want to be smarter, that want to learn, that want to get global exposure. And for me, that is incredible, because I've always believed that teachers, they want to go experience so they can bring it back to their classrooms and give that out to their students. But it's very hard as a teacher to do that because teachers don't get paid very well. And that's everywhere around the world. It's not like some surprise that teachers don't get paid very well. That's just the way it is. But nowadays, there's just more and more pressure on teachers to perform at this massive level, do all these extra duties, and continue to get paid very little. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to work with Web Talk as it grows to create this base of people that understand I don't have to pay the teacher, but if I comment, if I share, if I bring new people in and tell them about this teacher, those people are going to support those teachers, and it's going to develop revenue. And as the revenue grows in Web Talk, so do the salaries, and so do the money that can be made. And teachers at some point in my world, I hope, will be able to be at a point where they can say, do I just teach in Web Talk because I'm making way more than what I'm making at school? And can I leave that 4 walls and explore the world and be part of something bigger? That's really where we're headed, and that's what we want to do. So that's kind of in a nutshell, a big nutshell, but kind of in a nutshell.
So prior to Web Talk, where is it that you had these classes hosted and everything?
Before Web Talk?
Yes.
That's a good question. It's funny because Tim can jump in, but he was in China doing WeChat. He was in let's see what else. WeChat. Tim, help me out.
Yes, another one named CC Talk, a Chinese app.
That's right.
Okay.
and beginning to connect individuals who shared their dreams, their visions, and just had them communicate once I met them and listened to their vision. Then I would connect them to others that had the same type of vision. And then it developed once Facebook came out with not the Facebook Live, the idea that we could bring on a guest. And then I said goodbye to that Chinese app and said, we're going to take this to the next level, because Facebook is a global. You had the facts that this Chinese app was only for Chinese people, pretty much, even though you had Americans, even though you had people from England, different things like that. Then I said goodbye. They were sad. They were depressed. And then I just said, I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to go to Facebook. We're going to bring on guests one at a time. We're going to listen to their visions. We're going to spread it globally. And that's what happened. And then actually to shorten this and let you guys go back, it's simply Teacher Andy did a dream Fila, a vision about Web Talk in 2018 on the global stage of Facebook. It's that simple. And then we just continue to connect others and countries with the visions that aligned with each other. So CC Talk.
Okay.
Right, yeah, CC Talk.
Yeah.
Yes. And what year would you say it first, IEG first formed?
Well, like I said, Tim, it was Teacher Amin, right? It was Teacher Amin who came up with that, and that was probably about
Correct.
a year or so before we really started talking. So that's probably about, what would it have been, 2011, something like that.
2011, wow.
2010. Yeah. So it's
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. So
Yeah.
2010, and then you guys transitioned to Web Talk what year?
About 17, I think.
Okay.
20, I believe 2017 is when I started, when I heard about Web Talk and got into Web Talk, and started really understanding that I saw the power of Web Talk instantly. And I'm I'm sure most people have heard the story, but Tim was in the States actually at the time, and he was helping his brother work on a roof. And I messaged him and I said, man, we've got to talk. I said, I found something. I didn't know he was, I don't even think I knew he was in the States, and I didn't know he was helping his brother, or I wouldn't have texted him, because they were trying to prepare the house for a storm. And he says, okay, give me 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and I'll get on, Facebook Live, and we'll talk about it. And so I said, look, man, I said, here it is. I was like, I found the thing that's going to help us, because the thing with FireFan was it's just a niche. It's sports people. Not everybody likes sports. It was really great to get the interaction and talk with people, but what the problem was that some people were having to watch, like myself in Abu Dhabi. I was getting up at like 2 or 3 in the morning to watch a football game live in the States, so I could be part of interacting with people and talking with people. Now, for me, that was not a problem, because I was going to get up anyway and watch the game. But for some people, that's crazy to do. So it was kind of a niche kind of thing. And then Web Talk came, and I said, Tim, I said, the way I look at this, it doesn't matter what subject, it doesn't matter what person, doesn't matter what place, doesn't matter anything. This is going to help everyone. Every teacher that we've been trying to figure out ways to get donations, we've been trying to get ways to help them. I said, look, this site is going to turn into an app. This site is going to turn into a major social media, powerhouse at some point. And look what they're saying. Every single person can make revenue from this company. I said, what other social media, what other platform is going to do what this is going to do for us? This is wonderful. And he said, look, If you think so, then I'm in, and I'll figure it out later. And so we started, really started looking into it and, figuring it out. And, I'm kind of person that if I'm going to talk to people about something, I gotta figure it out first and figure out if it's worth it. And I just looked at it and went, wait a minute, they say that you can join for free. And if people join underneath you for free, you can make money, they can make money. Perfect. We don't have to charge people. We don't have to tell people that there's, an upgrade that you have to do. Can you do it? Of course. But do you have to? No. And then it's just been, since about, since about 2017 onward, we have just been adding people, and this has just been growing and growing and growing. And it's unbelievable to see where it's at right now.
Wow. So how much has it grown compared to 2010 to now?
Well, I would say that when we were, and I don't know if Tim, could say this, but I would say we were probably at like maybe 400, maybe 500 people in the WeChats, and he had a really big following of about 40,000 people in FireFan, but they weren't all like IEG people. They were just people connected and talking and enjoying each other and stuff like that. But Web Talk itself, probably like 300 or 400 people. And now when we look at it, I look at the 5 levels that we have, and you can kind of see people. But now we're at probably level, I would say 14, 15 by now. And so below us is just a whole nother, like Vietnam is massive. And I know that they have probably 5,000 plus people that are involved. Ours is probably 5,000-6,000 people. So active, probably not as many active, but people are joining all the time and starting to see the value of this. And it's just continued to grow. And we have probably about, I would say, 40 or 50 teachers that are doing something throughout the days and the weeks. People are doing classes and stuff on Zoom, and building their base of students, and really showcasing what the dream has always been, is to have an amazing school. And it's so much fun to go in and just jump into a class and watch these teachers just enjoy themselves. And I think that is part of it, obviously. But the other side of it is we do want to help them. We do want to create a way for them to generate revenue for the work that, because there's teachers that have been in here for, 2 or 3 years doing amazing things. And then there's teachers that have shown up in the last couple months, and they're still, figuring it all out. And, we're just here to help people connect and help people grow and help people, find, someone that they can, learn from, whatever language, whatever subject. That is the goal. And we've just been working on it for a long time.
Very cool. So with that being said, how is it now that you guys are aiming to expand even more? What are some of the goals that you guys have in place?
Oh man, I'm not going to say everything. I can't.
Okay.
I can't say everything because I don't want to, let's throw in some idioms. I don't want to, count my chickens before they hatch, eggs before they hatch, or whatever you want to call it. And, jump the gun and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But a vision, an idea, I would like IEG to not only be worldwide and have people traveling from teacher to teacher. And what I mean teacher to teacher, I mean, let's go learn from this teacher in their country instead of sitting on Zoom. Let's all work together to create revenue so that we can use the travel portal to travel for free and go visit all these places and have people take us on tours and learn from being there, not from being on a computer. I would love to have schools. That would be a vision, to have schools where people can go to these schools in the world. I would love to know that any teacher could come into Web Talk, into IEG, and say, this is the salary that I want, and we can figure out a way for them to get that. I want teachers to be able to say, I want to work for 30 minutes a day, or 5 hours a day, or 10 hours a day, whatever they want to do. I want teachers to start understanding that this isn't about you having to do what you're told. It's about doing what you want and what you are passionate about. I love English. I hate grammar. I love English, but I hate, grading papers. Now, is that wrong? No, because guess what happens? There's someone else that loves to teach grammar. Well, great. You can go to that teacher and enjoy grammar all day long because they're going to do it in a way that's exciting. I can teach whatever I want. The other side of it is, I tell people, look, as a student, all of us have walked into whatever school it was, elementary school, middle school, high school, college. What do you walk in with? A piece of paper. And it says you have to go to room 307 with Teacher Tim. And I hate Teacher Tim. I don't like his class. He doesn't like me. And let's be honest, teachers and students don't always get along. Okay. So I walk in, and for the rest of the year, I have to sit and be troublesome because I want to make his day as bad as possible. But then I also have this piece of paper, and I had a teacher across the hall last year that I thought was the most amazing teacher in the world. And I can't go to that class this year because my piece of paper says that I can't. Why would I have to sit in this one room where I don't like the teacher, we don't connect, we don't have a good connection, when right across the hall is someone that changed my life? Why are schools forcing children to be in classes that they don't want to be in? It provides stress for everybody. There's students that go, why are you even in here? You're ruining my education. I like this teacher, but you're over here fighting with them and being a disruption. Well, this school, all you have to do is hit click. All you have to do is go, I want to be with that teacher. No one's upset. No one's mad. It doesn't matter. If a teacher doesn't like a student and doesn't like the way they're acting, doesn't like their respect, doesn't like what they're doing, there's the door, or click. And the beauty of this is I do classes that are more about travel. We talk about travel. Well, everyone that comes in has signed up. They want to be part of the travel group. Are they going to mess around? No, because they know what they're doing. They know what they want. They might come in and go, let's check this out. This guy's cool, I guess. I'll stay here for a while. But are they going to say, oh man, I hate this guy, so I'm just going to mess around with him? Well, if they do, boop, bye. Or they go, this isn't for me, click. And they move on to the next teacher. And what the goal is to have a complete IEG profile, business page, where people can go in and see videos and read about the teachers and all this, so they can go through and say, oh, I want to learn Italian. So there's 4 teachers that teach Italian. I'm going to go check all of them out and find out which one I like. And you know what that teacher is going to do? Someone's going to come in and say, I want to be part of your class. Fantastic, come on in. And here we go. Now I'm learning a new language. And guess how much I'm paying for it?
Nothing.
0. What am I paying? Likes, comments, and shares. So that's the vision. That's the big vision. You know, I feel like we are well on our way to this. We are working on some things that I think will put us in that space. There's a lot of people behind the scenes that are doing, you know, multiple things to try to make this happen. And I think that when Web Talk goes live and Web Talk becomes a public app, and we start seeing that revenue share going up, we're gonna show the world some pretty incredible things.
So, what do you feel are the necessary qualities to be an IEG teacher?
That's a great question, and I can answer that very quickly.
Okay.
I don't think I've ever met a teacher in my whole life that wanted to not help people. I don't think I've ever met a teacher that has said, you know, I really hate educating. I've never met a teacher that says, I just absolutely don't even know why I'm in this field. Because if you say that last sentence, you won't be in the field. It is too hard of a job. It is too intense. It is too crazy to stick around in it if you can't handle it. It's been said that, you know, a teacher in their first probably 3 to 5 years will either stick with it or they will be gone. Your first 1, 2, 3 years of a teaching career are so hard because there's so much to it. So to be a teacher in IEG, and this isn't about going to college, this isn't about teaching certificates. If you have something that you want to give to the world, your knowledge of whatever you have, you can be a teacher in IEG. Because everyone in IEG wants to learn something. Some may want to learn English, and they just want to hear you talk. So you can get on and be a teacher that just chit chats with people all day long. We have a teacher that teaches little kids. And what does he do? They read bedtime stories every day. They get on, they read stories. Their parents sit right next to them and they're listening. And sometimes they even read too. And they're learning English right next to their children. It's very, relaxed. No one's going to make fun of you if you can't read a word correctly. Think about all the parents of children that they can't speak English, but maybe they want to learn. But if they went to an adult class, they would be really scared to do that because what would their peers think? Well, if they're sitting around with their kids learning English with them, it's not scary. It's beautiful. There are teachers that want to teach strictly by the book, and they want to have a curriculum, and they want to have an agenda, and they want to have, they want to be very 1, 2, 3. Is there anything wrong with that? Not one thing is wrong with that because that's what they do. And this is what I tell teachers when I talk to teachers or when teachers are thinking about being part of it, they say, these are the questions that they ask. How many hours do I have to work? And I say, any hours that you like. And they go, no, really, like how many hours in a day is that? Any hours that you like. Then they say, well, what's the curriculum? Whatever you want to teach. And they go, no, like what am I supposed to do? Whatever you like. Do I want to teach science? No, I don't. I don't have to. Do I want to teach, I don't know, I'm trying to think of a book. To Kill a Mockingbird. Do I want to teach To Kill a Mockingbird to 9th graders? No, because it doesn't make sense to them. They don't get it. Would I love to teach To Kill a Mockingbird to adults? Of course, because they can understand the reality of it. 1984. I would love to teach 1984 to anybody and everybody that wants to listen, because the book is incredible. It changed my life. I can do that if I want to. Or I can just talk to people about traveling. They're learning English. They're learning presentation skills. They're learning research skills. They're learning communication skills. People will say, I want to do a presentation of a place where I'm from or a place I want to go. Great. How long does it have to be? However long you like. Do what you like. So the students get the same feeling. They go, I can learn about things that I actually want to learn about. It's incredible. It really is. So yeah, so teachers, they can do what they want to do. I know teachers that want to do a class for 30 minutes a day. Great. I know of teachers that say, I want to do an hour every day of the week. Great. Well, I only want to do a class on Saturday. Fantastic. You do you. You do you. You do what you want. And the rest, we'll figure it out.
Do you feel like there's any sort of personality traits that sets IEG teachers apart from, say, teachers who have, their degree and that sort of thing? For example, have you ever spoken to any of your former colleagues who, went to school, have their certificate and everything, and told them about IEG and they're hesitant about it? So what do you think sets IEG teachers apart from the people who are, hesitant about it?
I have talked to multiple teachers that are friends of mine. I have talked to other teachers that maybe aren't friends of mine, but people that just want to be interested. For them right now, it's not something they really want to do because the money is minimal right now. They don't have that vision of what's coming. I think that a lot of teachers have been so conditioned to believe that education is from 8:20 to 9:30, and you have to have introduction, and then you have to have teacher-led something or another, and then students do work, and they have to be in groups, and you have to do this, and you have to do this, and then you have to close and make sure that's all in one period. And if you don't, keep that structure, then everything's going to go nuts. And that is fine. There is not a problem with that. But as a student, and we've all been in that class, where you just go in and you're just like, well, here we go. And it's not because the teacher's horrible. It's because the kids aren't interested in everything that's at school. What if we had a class that was an English class, but it was an English cooking class? And I love to cook. So I talk with people that like to cook. And we just enjoy each other. I'm learning English. I'm not in a classroom that says I have to learn grammar today. I'm not in a class that says I have to learn sentence structure today. I'm just in a place where people are interacting and talking, and I'm learning English. So that's, I kind of, I don't know. I got a little off track, but that's what it is. That's what that we want, is we want people that are just happy to spread their knowledge around the world. And that's really what a teacher is. Someone who can help others learn.
So do you feel like the main hesitation that most people have when you reach out to them and they're hesitant is just the fact that, they're making ends meet and they don't really have time to contribute this up? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
I think that a lot of teachers, they're struggling and they need money now.
Mm-hmm.
And to be part of this right now is more of a building for the future.
Yeah.
And understanding that there is a future. Now, I truly believe that let's be honest, when we start making real money in Web Talk, when Web Talk starts growing, a bunch of people will come because they'll understand that the value is there. And that's fine. I don't care about that. I think that that's okay because I don't want, I tell people, I've told people since the day we started, look, you're not going to make career changing money right now. That's not going to happen. Look at how much money is in the ad rewards pool. It's not going to pay you yet. But you're building that base. You're building that group of people that are interacting. And we tell students, when you come in, you have a duty to help these teachers that are teaching you. You need to interact with them. You need to support them. If they make a post, you need to be part of that. Because we've started conditioning them so that when more people come in, those students and those teachers already know what to do. And they'll start showing other people what to do. And as this grows, I truly believe that as this grows, when we start generating revenue, teachers are going to be able to see this as a valuable thing. Now, here's the thing. Teachers around the world make much different kind of money. So a teacher who makes $300 a month, that's going to be pretty easy to match in Web Talk very soon, I believe, as it grows. Now, a teacher who's making maybe $6,000 or $7,000 a month, that's going to be a little bit harder. But here's the thing, with Web Talk, with 5 levels, anybody that's in your 5 levels, if they're making 300, 300, 300, 300, 300, 300, well, guess what? You're making what you really want to make. So what we're going to do is that's how we build it. We look at this and say, okay, this teacher, they have their 5 levels. Well, there's 6 teachers underneath this one that all need $300. Well, we're going to interact and we're going to do stuff with those teachers and not worry about the guy that's at the 5th level. Why? Because it's matched. So let's worry about the little numbers and all that's going to add up. And at some point, we're going to be able to even look at points, pie slices, how it relates to money. And so a teacher could walk in and say, okay, I want $3,000 a month. Well, this is what you would have to do. You'd have to make this many posts. People would have to interact this much and generate this many points. Can you do that? Yes. Perfect. But see, what's going to happen is those teachers are also going to have 5 levels. And so they won't have to do all of it themselves. Other people will be making revenue underneath them. And it's going to make it very easy for us to reach goals of getting teachers to a point where they can make a decision whether they want to stay at their job or be part of Web Talk.
So at the very beginnings of IEG, like when you guys were in WeChat and CC Talk and everything like that, there wasn't really that much of a monetary reward at that point, right? People are just teaching out of the goodness of their heart and everything like that.
Yep.
So do you feel like now that we have Web Talk and everything, that now the focus is kind of more leaning towards the monetary gain, or people still very yeah, I'll let you.
No.
Okay.
I think that the monetary side is wonderful. But I know that I truly believe that 100% of the teachers that are involved in IEG are here to help people, because that's what teachers do. There's no teacher that says, hey, I'm going to stay after school and help all these kids, but I need money for it. They don't do that because there is no money for it. They do everything out of the goodness of their heart. Teachers are incredible people. And the thing is I truly believe that teachers are not given the respect worldwide that they deserve for what they do. And that has always been something to me that I think is wrong with society. I think our society is showing that the value of education is so minimal that people can't even think. People don't know how to interact with others. So they sit in their little rooms and their little houses and their little city, and they never leave the limits, and they don't learn anything. What are we doing right now? I'm sitting in my house talking to you in a country or in a state, and Tim's in another country. People are listening. They're commenting. They don't even have to be in the Zoom because they're learning right now. They're listening to everything that we're talking about, and they're learning. I don't think that there's any teacher, and I'm very serious about this. I don't think that there's one teacher that is doing something in Web Talk right now that actually goes, I'm going to make so much money. Do they want money? Yes, teachers need money. They do. Everybody needs a little bit more money in their lives. It's a known fact that if someone made $500 more a month, it would keep them out of poverty. It would keep them out of debt. It would keep them out of, losing their car. $500 a month in Web Talk is not going to be very hard to achieve. We will make sure that that happens. $500 is not that much money. For some people, that's like twice their monthly salary in some countries. But I truly don't believe that any teacher in here is like, ooh, I'm doing it for the cash. They do it for the love of being a teacher. I have always felt that teachers, they're just a different person. And that's why I want to work so hard to create something that shows that value to the world of what we have. And it's getting so close to being at that point where we get to showcase to the world what teachers really are worth. And I think very much so when we get to that point of being able to make a lot of money, and show people that they can make whatever they want and do whatever they want, yeah, more teachers are going to come in because of that. But it doesn't change that they're teachers. It just changes the fact that they get the respect that they deserve.
What do you believe are the strengths of the IEG group at the moment?
The power of learning, the power of communication, the power of interaction, the support of teachers worldwide, the family community, the respect of learning from people from other countries, the shared vision of what people want education to be, the joy of knowing that you get to do what you love, but you're not going to have to work a second job to keep doing it. Travel, and by travel, getting to go and meet the people that you've been talking to online. Those are, I mean, the list goes on and on of how I see the power of this group of people. Whether we had Web Talk or not, it's still powerful. It's still an incredible group of people.
What do you see as the weaknesses or areas for improvement?
I think that the areas of improvement would be that teachers need to understand that this platform is a place for them to be successful and to be given the respect that they deserve, but they also must take that same feeling and respect everyone else that's part of it. I think that some people don't quite have the respect factor for all involved. And I don't think that that's a huge problem, but it is a weakness in that I think that that sometimes people, even as educators, forget that a person who is in a foreign country speaking English knows more languages than you, and to say that they don't deserve to be an English teacher because they can't maybe say a word correctly.
Mm.
I think that that is a weakness, and it is something that people need to understand, that the people that are on here that are teaching from around the world, they're teaching English. And are they going to have an accent? Are they going to have misspoken words? Of course they are. I was in a class where, you know, someone was talking about different words and they were defining them incorrectly. Well, instead of people getting upset, they said, "Hey, why don't we look it up?" So not only does the teacher learn something, the students are learning something. So the teacher who is trying to lead a class and give knowledge is also gaining knowledge. And it's a weakness to think that you're so smart that you can't learn from someone else. There's a quote, that I love, and it says, "It's what you learn after you know it all that matters." And I think many people think they know it all, and they don't. Another quote that comes from Clayton, and I love this quote too. "If I'm the smartest person in the room, I'm in the wrong room." And I really, really believe that that is a quote that people should think about. Because if you're the smartest person in a room, what are you gaining from that room? You want to be in a place where you learn just as much as everybody else does. So I think that that is a weakness. And I think it's something that people need to check their egos at the door and understand that there is a ton of knowledge to be learned from every single person. And that is something that could definitely be worked on within the entire group of teachers and students.
Let's see.
These are some good questions. They really are. You're really you put me on the spot here. I like it. It's actually kind of nice because normally it's just us talking and trying to get people to understand things and learn and and show them what another level that we're working at, and it's actually really nice to be the person that's responding. So I'm enjoying this. This is great.
Let's see, because you answered quite a lot of questions. Let's see what else I have.
I got some questions for you when you're done, though.
Oh, okay, sure. So you kind of did touch on this, but I don't know if you want to add anything else. What is wrong with the way that society tends to teach people?
Ooh. If Tim wasn't in class right now, he could go off for at least an hour on this. So say the question one more time.
What is wrong?
I want him to hear it.
Sure, of course. What is wrong with the way society tends to teach people?
I think we did talk a little bit about the idea that you go into a class and you have to be there. I think another thing that is very, as a teacher, I have been in many different schools. I've taught overseas. I've taught in many different schools. I've taught in schools where I'm teaching dual enrollment classes, so they're getting into college education, credit as well as English credit. I've taught in alternative high schools where they go to class and then they go over to like a technical school next door and learn like technical stuff. I've taught online. I've taught online and at school. I've taught in Abu Dhabi with, people that don't even speak English. I've taught in many different places. And what I truly feel that is rough with education is there are people that have never been in school, haven't been in school for years, making decisions on what should be taught in school. There are people that I have to, as a teacher, I have to listen to what they tell me to do in my classroom because they showed up for 20 minutes. And they think in that 20 minutes of the day that they know exactly how I teach and what I do. I think that education should not be in one room. If you don't like your teacher, you should be able to go to the teacher that you like. Why is that? Because you're not learning anything. And that's the people interact with people that they don't like. I mean, that's life. It really is. But educationally, I don't think that it should be like that. I'm sure that you went to college and you had a professor that you thought was awesome. They connected with you, but you had them one semester out of 4 years. And you think every semester, wouldn't it be nice if I could be in that class with that teacher and they could teach me this because I would like it more? I'm sure you've had that experience. Why can't I go and learn from someone who I actually respect? Why can't I learn from someone who is teaching me how to build a bed instead of teaching me how to tree a sentence? Why can't I go and listen to someone just talk and listen to their voice and listen to the words that are coming out of their mouths and just grow as a person from listening to that teacher talk? I think, and I'll be very blunt about this, I think administration comes down on teachers for the dumbest things. When my classroom has 40 some students and 27 desks, and you come into my room and ask why there are kids laying on the floor, that's a really dumb question to ask. You clearly can see that the desk to student ratio is a little different. So why would you ask me that? Why would that be something that is a check on the negative side of my classroom? Well, you're the one that put all the kids in here. You're the one that scheduled this. You can clearly see that there's not enough desks. So why would that be a concern for you? Because you need to put something negative so that you can help me grow. That's wrong. I think a teacher, I've had multiple administrators. I had one of my best administrators was a guy who would walk into my classroom and sit down in a desk and listen to what's going on and get up and walk back out. But every time he did, in my mailbox would be a note card. This is what I liked. I have a question about this. Was never, you weren't doing this or you weren't doing that. And so you would answer. You just write real quickly, oh yeah, I was doing this and this is what was going on, and put it right back in his mailbox. And then when that same guy walks by your room and you got your feet propped up on the desk because you're chilling on a Friday and some kids are messing around, some kids are working, he can look at you and say, I know what you're doing this today in that class. And what was that? Well, you told all the kids that today is Friday, we're kind of chilling. If you get your work done now, you won't have any homework on the weekend. Or if you don't and you want to relax today, guess what you have to do? Homework for Monday. And that's exactly what was going on. See, that's an administrator that knows what to do and listen and see what's valuable about a classroom. But you don't have administrators like that all the time. What you have are people that are trying to check boxes so they look like they're doing their job. And that is a major thing to me. And that's what I love about Web Talk is people, when they come to me and say, well, what do I need to do? You already know what to do. You're a teacher. You've been doing it your whole life. So be free. Now, if someone's just totally screwing up, there might be some suggestions. I've had teachers say, hey, can you jump on my Zoom and tell me what you think? Of course. I'll give you some pointers, but what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to go into a class, a Zoom class or, an IEG class and tell that teacher, well, you're not doing it right. Well, clearly they are, because there's 30 people that are listening to what they're saying and they like it. So you must be doing it right for 30 people. And guess what? That's enough. That's who you should be doing it for. Or there's 2 people. And if they're doing it right for 2 people, then God bless them, they're doing their job. And that's the beauty of this. I could have 100 people in a Zoom, or I could have 2 people in a Zoom, and I'm still an amazing teacher. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if one person comes into my Zoom and wants to learn from me. In IEG, that's enough. And that's the beauty of it. You can stop how many people show up in your class. You can say some of you need to listen on the live. Some of you can be in the Zoom. I might let a couple of you in. We're going to talk, but we're not going to have 40 people going blah all the time. That's not how it works. And that's okay. Or like Grant, you could have 25, 30 kids going blah, blah, blah all the time, and he loves it. I would go nuts with that. But that's what he does. And he loves it. And he said to me, Andy, I want to be part of IEG, but I just don't want to teach adults. And guess what I said? Then don't. Now, does he have a couple parents that are with their kids? Of course. But he doesn't want to teach adults. Great. Then don't do a class for adults. It's that simple. So that's what's beautiful about this is we're taking the things that bring teachers down and pressure them and make them almost want to quit this passionate job that they have. I mean, when a teacher says they have to resign, it's like devastating to them, because all they know is how to help people, and now they have to walk away from that. That's not what we want. We want teachers to be happy. We want teachers to be excited. And we want students to be excited too. And you go into our Zoom classes, and they are. It's cool. It really is cool, because every teacher does whatever they want to do and how they do it. And whatever students are in there, whether they're old, young, whatever, they're enjoying it. They're having a blast. And that's literally what we want.
I know also that IEG is very socially conscious. I know Teacher Tim is always talking about bettering humanity and everything. So I know GEOAG is going on, the COVID tests are going on. What are some other things that are going on to help better society? And then also, what are some things that you guys hope to do in the future?
Well, I think that those 2 that you're talking about are big. I don't want to talk about either one of them very much right now, because we're still working on how this needs to be presented to people. We're still working on how is this going to be something that we can showcase to the world and give to the world. I will say that when we do bring something to Web Talk, the whole end game has always been that it's going to help IEG teachers and IEG students. Now, when we say IEG, is this some exclusive thing that nobody can be a part of unless you're a teacher? No. Your dad is a great example of that. He's in Web Talk with who knows who he's with. I don't know. But he's IEG to me. Why? Because he's part of this group that wants to grow the world and be part of something big. And so anybody can say that they're from IEG. So what we're saying is we would want to help anybody and everybody. We want to produce a place where people are comfortable with each other, who accept each other, who are having kind of common goals. And quite honestly, there have been people that have had to be told to go, because we're not going to let one person destroy 65 countries worth of tolerance, of wanting to connect and wanting to be part of something bigger. Yes, many religions, many nationalities, many different beliefs, many political beliefs. We try to keep that kind of stuff, not just don't talk about it, but we want people to understand that just because you're from X country doesn't mean that I'm going to say things to you that are derogatory. Has it been done? Yeah. And have there been teachers that have done things that don't make sense, and we've talked to them too? Yeah. Some will stay, some will go. And that's fine, because we have to look at the big picture. And so anybody that comes in as part of this, we want to build this thing to be massive. And so, yeah, there are things that we're looking at that we would love to grow, and we will. It's taking time, but we want communities around the world to be so involved with education and so involved with learning and being passionate about, their value as a person, that we just create these communities around the world that are just interacting and building each other up and learning from each other. And I think it's all, I truly feel like it's happening already. There are groups that like Lutza and Rissa and I think Atul and a couple other people. They have their own comedy show. They have their own program. Is everybody going to watch it? No, but that doesn't matter. They're doing what they love. And if one other person watches it and enjoys it and gets something from it, then that's success. And I think that's what's beautiful about this, is people are bringing to this community such diverse, different ideals and ways that as more and more people come, we're going to find more and more things to help the world. And I think that's what's so beautiful about this, is we're getting to a point where it's not just education, it's how do we change people's lives? And I think that we're getting to that point where the vision of that and how we're going to create that is getting much closer. And it's exciting because the people and the teachers that have been doing stuff with us for a long time, it's going to work out for them. It really is. And that's what's exciting, is people who have stuck with us and have worked with us and have created, awesome platforms of whatever they do as far as teachers. Not one of them is someone that we're like, who cares about them? No, I've said it. My goal is to help teachers. And there's not going to be a whole lot that's going to be able to change the way I feel about that. And that, to me, is part of what we're trying to do, is help the world and help teachers, find a place where they truly are being in that position to be at a level where they should be at and respected. And I think that that's a major thing that we're working on.
Okay, so what do you think is the most difficult thing about teaching?
I think for myself, I think that.
Or sorry, let me.
Okay.
Yeah. What do you think is the most difficult thing about teaching, but I mean, especially on Web Talk? Like, the
Oh, okay.
IEG.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that right now the technology within Web Talk is still a little bit um, has enough steps that some people find it a little difficult to do.
Hmm.
I think that people are still learning how to use technology to their advantage. I think that we've been kind of pushed into, a lot of teachers have been pushed into this technological world with COVID-19 because they have been having to teach online, and I think that they're learning. Um, I think it's a little difficult because of time. If I'm, if we're talking right now, well, some people are dead asleep right now. They would
Hmm.
love to be listening, but they're asleep. And so sometimes, time is a difficult thing for them to, be able to do what they want to do. Um, and ultimately right now, the income is not matching what they would like.
Hmm.
And I understand that. And um, so I think that that would probably be kind of some of the things that are being tough for teachers in Web Talk right now. But the ones that are just doing it because they love it, they're really, really, doing a great job. There's a bunch of teachers that are doing really cool stuff, and I wish, and if they're listening, I wish that every teacher would be doing lives. Why? Because it's going to showcase who you are and how wonderful you are. You keep doing Zooms and never showcasing it. How are people going to know to be in your class? How are people going to know that you have such a strength of knowledge that you could give to others? And that is something that I think with as Web Talk grows, people will be able to do that.
And what got you into teaching in the first place? And do you feel like that core reason is still the reason why you're still teaching today?
um I will, Manny, I see you in the waiting room, so hold on just 1 second. I'm going to let you in just 1 second. um this is It's not egotistical. It's I want to be like my English teacher in high school. I had two teachers, one English teacher in high school and one English teacher in college. And my one English teacher in college or in high school, every single and this is most people. If I say I'm a teacher, the response is always, "Oh, I had a terrible teacher," or, "Oh, I had this amazing teacher." You never hear someone say, "Oh, I had this really mediocre teacher."
Yeah.
That never happens.
No.
No, it doesn't. Which one do you want to be? I don't want to be the one that they go, "Oh, that teacher's horrible." And I think what really made me want to be a teacher is what my English teacher, people from 20 years before or 10 years before or whatever, when you would say her name, Mrs. Lillard, they would be like, "Oh, man, Mrs. Lillard, what she did for me on blah 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 day, or what Mrs. Lillard did, or what Mrs. Lillard taught, or what Mrs. Lillard said to me impacted people 40 years ago." I want that. I want my name to be in people's mouths and saying, "Oh man, that guy helped me whatever. That teacher, maybe I didn't like exactly what was going on in his class, but man, he actually cared about me. He actually knew things about me." I had a student that, I he was just he just always looked grumpy. So every day, he would sit by himself in the corner. Every day I'd go sit down in front of him and, "Hey, what's up? What's up?" Every day. Those are family. They're good. Well, one day we had an assembly, and he comes walking out of the assembly, and I was like, "What's up, man?" And he's like, "Hey, teacher. Hey, Mr. Smith." And this guy looked at me, this other teacher looked at me and said, "What was that?" And I said, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "Andy, I've never seen that kid talk to anybody,
Oh.
much less smile." And you know, that's the you know, the part that you feel like as a teacher, you know, everybody wants to connect. Everybody
Mhm.
wants someone to care about them.
Mhm.
And that truly is for me, something that I've always felt like, you know, you might, I tell kids, man, you might not like me. You might not respect me, but you'll remember me. You will remember who I am because I'm going to take the time to know who you are. And I'm just one of those teachers. I don't care about the whole like, oh, well, we're going to start class like this, and then we're going to have to do this and that. If I want to sit down and talk to you all day long while other people talk, great, because that's communication. That's being a person who cares. And you know, that's why I love about Web Talk is that's what people are doing. They're just interacting with each other and enjoying each other's company. I'm gonna let Manny in, but yeah,
Sure.
that's the thing that has always driven me is that idea that there will always be someone that's going to talk about me, and I hope when they do, whether they talk about me that they didn't like something about me, at least they understood that I tried to make, you know, a connection with them somehow. Um, and that's just, you know, that's me. That's what I like to think about, like a legacy as a teacher.
All right. And my last sort of question for you is, well, not so much of a question, but I would like for you to describe what education means to you in one sentence.
Ooh. Um, Trying to come up with. I'm an English teacher. I can't say things in one sentence. Um, huh.
Or you can
No,
also describe in one word if you want.
that's yeah. I would say I would say I tell students this. I want to be smarter today than I was yesterday. There's your sentence.
Okay.
And that's me. That's not the
Mhm.
students. That's myself included. I
Mhm.
don't want to be dumber than I was yesterday. And I tell kids that I want to be smarter than I was yesterday. Please, please tell me I'm wrong about something. Prove to me I'm wrong. Have a fact to prove it. I would love for you to debate with me. I would love for you to tell me you are wrong so that I can be smarter today than I was yesterday. So, yeah, there's my sentence.
All right, that's great. So I don't know if Mr. Manny or Teacher Manny,
Yeah,
yeah.
Miss Manny. Yeah,
Um,
he's on.
Hello,
You want
hi.
to ask him some questions?
Yeah, so I'm not sure if you tuned in, but what we're doing right, oh, you did, okay. So do you have anything that you would like to talk about? Anything, any of the questions would you like to answer?
Okay, I know overall you were speaking about IEG and how this has come to be, and for me, it's been a short while since I've joined Web Talk, but I'm so for everything that is happening on Web Talk as far as a community, family, organization, putting balance back into what's happening around the world right now, giving back to people, making progress. And I don't know, it's just the fact that we're growing together here, communicating with others across the world is fantastic. I don't want to go over anything else that Andy, I don't want to step over anything that we're working on because this is a progress. I mean, this is something that's successful. It's something that a lot of people are going to be able to participate and help each other. And that's what it's about. It's all about helping each other here. Um, he talked about, you know, future campuses where teachers can actually go to and be there for about a month and continue to travel. And we're helping teachers be able to have that value that they can actually, they bring to everybody. They put passion behind what they teach. So I found that as a great tool. I came across these two wonderful guys here, Teacher Tim and Teacher Andy. And I mean, I feel right at home. Like I mentioned to him earlier, I said, yeah, this is like a family. It's a really great community. And the things that you can do here are awesome because you get to be yourself. You don't have to pretend. You don't have to, feel like you have a curriculum you have to follow. And it's exactly that. I come on here and I teach like business English, or I come in and join other people's classes. It's a lot of fun because we're interacting within Web Talk, and at the same time we're growing, which is exactly what we're doing here. I don't know if you have any questions. Other than that, I just wanted to be able to come in and say hi to everybody and be able to get to talk to you guys.
Yes. So how did you teach prior to joining IEG, or still do teach? Do you teach also outside of IEG?
Yes, I do actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is a very interesting question. I studied business management in the States, and I felt more like that was where I was going to be teaching around here. But actually, it became business English. I came to Colombia about 11 years ago, and I started teaching with companies, within companies, hiring teachers, analyzing that. We need more English within Colombia itself in South America. And they had a quota to make it bilingual by 2020. Well, it hasn't quite happened. There's still a lot of work to be done out here. But just like anywhere else, this is a wonderful platform where I try to let people know, listen, come take free English classes with me. So now I have followers from other companies and people that I've known. So they come along and then they just learn English from me, or like teacher Andy wants to learn Spanish. So I'll post a bunch of little things on Spanish there for people to catch on to, being bilingual. And yeah, he mentioned it earlier, education. I mean, we want this to be the highest level of education as a platform, because there are people that are, I overheard that you mentioned, the different levels of teachers and qualified or certified teachers. Yeah, I'm a certified teacher, Cambridge. I let people know that I prepare people for different levels and for studying abroad and everything. But okay, let me go back a little bit. So here you have kids that are 8 years old teaching other little kids that are 8 years old their languages now. It's not just only English, it's become a universal type of language and it's global. It's global. So Innovative English Global, that's exactly what it is. But everybody's reaching out with other languages. Um, just a true story. I had a class with a teacher who teaches little kids, and his little kids came into my classroom and I was teaching business English. And mind, I have other colleagues or professors from universities and other people from all over that come in to listen to the class. And there must have been a communication where they saw a bunch of little kids on here. And I just kept going on. I mean, with what I do, I have pretty good communication skills and people like to listen. Number one rule here. And so we kept going with the class. It was a lot of fun. I think I had so much fun that it's been a while since I worked with little people. But the future is there. The little people is what our future is all about. And to have parents involved and the community involved, I mean, I think it's great. And to be able to say that we want this to be the highest educational platform available for people and that it's free, that's just amazing. Yeah, teachers volunteer their time on here, and we do want to support that. Yeah, there is a lack of value that tends to come when some teachers have to teach something that they don't want to really teach and they just do it for the money. That's not really cool. Well, in my opinion, but we want people to be open-minded about learning from other languages, other cultures, other people, traveling. Yeah, I know Teacher Andy has a lot of things to do with traveling right now, and we have a lot of great projects coming up with traveling also. I just know that the education here is awesome, and culture wise, I mean, I've just expanded myself to be able to meet other people. I haven't been on here quite long, but I'll tell you what, I found a niche where I feel comfortable, and I know that I'm going to continue to help grow and help others, and just giving some of my time. It's wonderful. I mean, one word. I mean, like they were asking teacher Andy, give him one word. And for me, it would be success. When you help somebody succeed, I mean, that's great. I mean, that's just putting it down in my, my one word there for you.
So how did you find out about IEG?
It's amazing. Like I mentioned, right now, everybody's in social media. Everybody's has to be digitally up to date. Everybody has to use the technology to be able to communicate. And I was cutting across YouTube, and then I see these two guys, and then they started talking about how they can go ahead and give back to a community, and you don't really have to, you just give some of your time. And I said, I'd love to do that. I have some time right now because of what's happening. I'm working from home. I'd love to go ahead and give some of my time back teaching or showing about my culture, about Colombia itself, about places you can travel to. And Andy is from Colombia, which is kind of very interesting. And so he and I have bonded a little bit. And I told him, you have a brother here in Colombia that's going to be able to be your guide or whatever you need. You need to learn the language, the idioms, or learn about the culture, the food. I mean, you found the greatest translator, bilingual person that's going to guide you through all this. So yeah, it's something like that. So that's why I call it like a family in a community itself.
It's beautiful. Yes. So, I mean, I could really ask you all the questions I asked teacher Andy. I'm not sure how much time you have, but I would love, or if you would like, you can, type responses afterwards, or we can have another meeting, whatever. But I would love to hear from your perspective as well. Where are the weaknesses that you see? Where are the strengths? I know you've only been here for a short amount of time, but I'm sure you do have opinions on some of the things I covered with teacher Andy. So
if you'd like, that's great. We have time.
yeah.
Sure, why not? We're live. We're doing it direct. People are listening to us, and this is what it's about.
Yes. Okay, great. So I would like to hear from your perspective, what do you think are the qualities needed in teachers who are part of IEG?
Quality of teachers. I think that dedication and be able to show their passion of what they like to teach. I believe that that's pretty important because people come on here and they do it already freely. They do it with others, but now to be able to make it something that they really love to do, I mean, I think that's just awesome. I think that's just something grand.
Yeah. So have you reached out to any of teachers that aside from IEG, and then told them, you should join this, you should be a part of it? And if so, how did they react to it?
Okay, so there are teachers, many teachers that are working from home or trying to get back into the rhythm of things. And they said, well, you're on Web Talk. Do you get clients? Do you have other students? And I said, you know what? This is a great platform if it's professional or personal. Actually, for education, what I'm doing on here is giving some of my free time. And as you guys noticed on other social medias, I put that my classes are free. And they're like, well, how are you going to make money? And I said, well, because I have some free time. So I'm just giving back. And now I have other followers that are coming in. Let me see if I could rephrase it. So I brought in a couple of teacher friends who have joined us from different parts of Colombia, from Cali, my friend John Gomez, other teachers who teach Spanish, other people who have come along because I've been either their teacher at one point or we have met at one point. So we have other teachers, yeah, from outside that have come in, and they find it amazing. They're sharing about their personal life, the culture, the food. They really got into it, and so I'm happy for those others that are coming behind me. Shout out to everybody out there, and I know they'll get to see what we're talking about. That's what I love about this. Later on, they'll catch on and be like, yeah, that's true. So yeah, I'm the culprit who's brought in some of my other colleagues in here.
Yes. So you did somewhat talk about how IEG is different in that, you don't need the certificates, you don't need all the qualifications. Anyone can come in there, teach. Everyone has something to share with others that they can learn from. But what do you think is what really sets IEG apart from other teaching jobs or occupations? And what about it makes it better for other reasons other than that?
Okay, I can only talk about myself and my
Yes.
experience on here for now. But what makes it different is it's just that being open-minded about what you want to teach or how do you want to project yourself here. With you being yourself, you don't have anybody to go ahead and tell you you need to teach this or you need to teach that. And I've had conversations, where yeah, sure, grammar could be something, maybe. When it comes to a lot of rules and formulas, and people are not really used to that. When you want to learn English in a natural way, this is one of the best ways to do it. You're learning with people that speak either languages with an accent that they have on their own, but it's perfectly fine. And as far as yeah, well, I know you mentioned about teaching also. Well, teachers here, nobody has to be perfect. I tell people it's okay to make mistakes. It's all right to have your accent. I mean, this is what it's come down to socially, where you identify people from other parts of the world because of their, being original about where the way they learn their language. So I thought that was great. And let's see, what else can I say? Let's just continue there.
Okay. What are goals that you have for yourself to be the best teacher you could be on IEG?
Goals. Apart from just being a teacher, I guess I'm a big learner here because I learn every day. I mean, from everybody. I learn from other people, from their mistakes or from my mistakes. I talk about being open-minded. I know that we're talking about other things too, but we're talking about being able to make campuses where people can come and share and be with us and teach what they would like to teach. As long as they come with passion and what they want to teach is great. I mean, I think that's an awesome tool to have on here.
What is the most rewarding thing for you about teaching?
I think it's success. I mean, that you get to
Okay.
help somebody out and then you get to see them travel or study abroad, or that they come back at you and say, hey, thanks, because I remember something that you said to me, something that you taught me, don't give up, just keep going. It's okay if you have an accent. It's all right if you make mistakes. This is how you learn. So once somebody reaches their goals, I think that's the most rewarding part for me as a teacher, because I know that I've helped them either improve in one way or another, or succeed, which is the word that I stick to success.
Yeah. How important do you think having an innovative, future thinking sort of mindset is when you're on a platform such as Web Talk and like teaching on with IEG? Like, how important is it to be innovative, do you think?
Well, being innovative is being able to teach on Web Talk and do this live, because many
Yeah.
other teachers do it personally. And I do visit other teachers and I ask them, do you guys record your classes? Can you share those, across a platform over 65 countries? Is it something that could interest you? And then they realize, well, yeah, that's really innovative. And when they say, okay, how more innovative can you become? I ask other people, what do you normally do on your routine? What are things that you like, that you would like to share about? Since here, when you come on the platform, you have so many options, many directions that you can go into. You have to be able to stick to what you really like and deal with teaching. I mean, if I'm into teaching, I love being around teachers because I'm always learning from them, or for some reason, teachers are just awesome. They're there to help others and to make things work and function and solve problems. And, teachers have to put on many hats: the listener, the one who's speaking, the one who's directing, acting, it's cool. It's great. I mean, that's awesome right there within itself.
Do you see that there's any areas needed to improve within IEG at the moment? Is there anything that you'd like to see?
Um, uh, as far as improving, I think it's all about coming together. That's going to help us grow faster and to have those great communication skills, and for people to be a little bit more open-minded about being innovative within Web Talk, coming in live, talking to people. You don't have to pretend like it's a script, because this isn't a script. Many people might think, no, there's Manny again, but he's probably reading a script. No, I just have a lot of passion for what I do, and I love talking and communicating with others. Things to improve would have to be, yeah, that people be more open-minded to coming on live and participating and sharing more of what they do. Bringing people on Web Talk is going to be a good thing for everybody to realize that pretty soon, once this comes out a little bit more for everybody to have access on their phone, it's just going to be mind-blowing, because so many other people are going to realize, wow, this is very innovative. It is a nice platform. I do have control over my information, how I direct it, who I can, mingle with, and at the same time teach, and futuristically speaking, receive money, where I don't have to go out and expose myself at the moment, or be around other kids, or be in a classroom that's overcrowded, or try to tell parents, how come my students aren't learning? And it's because they're probably not interested in learning something when there are 45 students in one class, and only 20% of those are going to actually learn. The ones that are in the front and the ones that are in the back are probably just, into their own things. I don't know. These are just my examples, but yeah.
And how would you say that being a part of IEG has impacted your mental health or well-being? How has it impacted that?
Okay, that's a really interesting question. I had to reinvent myself being at home, having to work from home. Normally, I would visit companies and go teach there and prepare people for international testing or things like that. And since most of the contracts had been canceled or changed because they were presential classes, so they weren't ready for somebody to come in and say, oh, you're going to be on my computer all the time. I'm already on my computer. So what happened to our presential classes? And now that I had to reinvent myself from home, what happened is that coming on here, let me see if I could recall your question.
How has it impacted your mental health or well-being, just being a part of that IEG community?
Okay, working from home, being able to reach out to real people on real time, different times, noticing that there are people that I'm communicating with, like Teacher Tim, and he's over there like 12 hours ahead of me. And I'm over here trying to figure out what day it is later on, because I've been speaking with people real people from all over the globe, even in the States, South America, Brazil, Egypt, Philippines. If I continue, I'm going to continue talking about other people that I've met that I would not have expected to be able to travel or talk to people unless I was on one-on-one, maybe in one of my conversation clubs here in the city. But to be able to reach out, it just helped me be more positive. I know there's so many things that are negative that are out there, but education and communicating with people, listening to them, and people that are sharing the smallest things, from flowers, the pictures, something that change their whole lifestyle or something, and you get to communicate with them, and it's pretty real. It's pretty real. I don't feel like I'm on another platform where I just make a comment and people are just like, yeah, sure, this automatic. No, when somebody comments or they share, it's because they care. So I say, hey, sharing is caring, guys. So when you come on here, all we ask is for your support, just an emoji, a little comment, and share. And that's how you support teachers, and that's how you support others here. And since we were talking about points and everything on Web Talk, that's exactly how we support each other. So we give points to everybody that's within the groups, and here you get to mingle with so many others. It's a really nice tree, like a branch that you can continue to climb up and look over and then help people up and continue to grow.
That's great. Yes. Okay. I think those are the most important questions I could ask you. Thank you so much for joining in and everything. I will keep you updated. I'll keep everyone updated about, where I am with the study and all that. So thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yes. I don't know if Teacher Andy is still with us.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, it looks like we're the only ones right here.
Yeah.
So it's cool. I noticed that you've been here briefly with us, Monique.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it's I'm sure you know my father. he's been very involved with the Web Talk and everything. He's gotten our whole family involved and all of that. So yeah, I've been here briefly compared to my father, definitely. So
I noticed you had an interview in one of the programs from Florida. Could you tell me a little bit more about that?
oh, I knew this girl from a conference that I went to a few years back, and she has her own segment on a newspaper, the Boca Raton Tribune. So that's in Boca Raton, Florida. So she asked me, oh, because she knew I was a psychology major. She's like, oh, I think that you would be great for this show. Would you like to be on? So I said, of course, sure. I was very nervous, but I was like, okay, sure. So I went on to the show, and it was just basically a discussion about mental health today, how it is that we perceive it, how does it impact us, things like that. And I think it was a great experience, and I'm also very grateful that I was able to be involved with Web Talk at the time that it came out, because I got so many people from Web Talk to look at it and comment on it and view it. Oh, I think it's probably the highest rated, the highest viewed of one of the shows that she's done so far, because of the the Web Talk engagement. A lot of people from Web Talk went to YouTube and watched the interview and everything. So it just shows the power of Web Talk and how everyone's just willing to support each other. So it's great.
That's where the innovative part. And now
Yes.
you mentioned about mental health. Well, yeah, at first, at the beginning, it was a little bit difficult to be at home and then go, my goodness, I don't get to see the clients, the customers. I don't get face to face with anybody. So I have to reinvent myself. And then I had been going on some type of a course, for a free course for a week, where you can learn how to make videos and teach online and do things like that. And I said, well, I pretty much have been doing that already. But then, like I was saying, I was just cruising through YouTube when I see these two gentlemen talking. And then I said, I want to volunteer. I want to give some of my free time. I want to give back, without asking for anything or needing anything. What topics can I teach? Well, being bilingual helps me teach a lot of things, and business English is just a little bit more of a formality way to communicate, and helping others be able to reach their goals, like travel abroad or study at another university, and helping them with the whole process. That's been something that I've been doing here. Um, and then when I noticed that they told me there are little kids teaching other little kids, what do I recommend? Well, I know that there's a book called TKT, the Teaching Knowledge of Tests, something that you can actually do on your own. You can certify yourself and learn how to teach. And
Oh,
okay, that's pretty cool for other people to take into consideration. And just like Teacher Andy said, many people come on here, maybe even talking about makeup and natural makeup and other things and marketing, because this is more personal, it's more professional, and definitely educational. I'm trying to help other teachers that are little projects here and there. For example, this mug that I use, from the teacher that makes it, I think you've seen that part where I talk about the gentleman who's going to be making videos and all this about that, and helping him in his little town make some money, and to the point where he feels comfortable. And then he's going to learn a little bit more about technology, on how he can come live and teach other people in other schools at the same time. So I look forward to helping people do that also. Supporting teachers on here is one of my greatest pleasures, to be able to come on board and hang out with them too. Like I'll just interrupt some of their classes just to say hi. I don't interrupt their classes, but then they grab a hold of me and then they want to talk a little bit, and that's perfectly fine. I mean, it's all about that. It's all about communication. So for me, it did help me come on board. And being just on here, I had stayed away from media for a while because of everything that had been occurring, and there was really no good news to be talking about. And then when I said, well, let me give back some of myself, I try to be really positive as I can be, and to be of service for me is it's a great thing. So that helped me to grow And now that I've met some great people on here, and it's an awesome community, I can't even talk enough about it, because it's just everything that we tend to do on here. It seems to be awesome. Other people who I've met, they just share a picture of what they're doing, hobbies that they have, places that they travel to. So I try to challenge some teachers to talk about where they're from, their country, their language, and to show us about their, a little bit of tourism around what they would recommend for a foreigner to do in their country. There are so many things that people can teach us. So it's not just about are they certified or licensed? Oh my goodness. When I was referring to this gentleman, I mean, I'm talking about a lot of culture that's gone back, and how the whole process of being able to make the mud and then put it together and then put it in the oven and decorate.
Wow.
So we have a great support group here in IEG that's going to help a lot of people be able to do those types of things and help other teachers be safe and make it like a really nice educational development for many people, so that they don't have to feel like they're at home tied up and that they can't reach out to anybody. And that's been the great thing here. Many people have reached out. I've reached out to many people. So that's what's kept me. If you said mental health, yeah, I think that would be a great way to cover that.
Yes. Would you be, well, have you done in the past Spanish speaking classes, Zoom lives and that sort of thing? Or would you be interested in doing that?
Well, like Teacher Andy said, there are teachers, and you know what I'm bringing in is I'm bringing other teachers that are more experts at teaching the Spanish language itself. Well, for me, it wasn't easy at the beginning. I was raised in California, and I lived in the States for 30 years. And now that I came back to my country where I was born, and I went to stay with my my father's family in the States for quite a while. And now that I came back, I'm getting to know a lot more family, culture, and everything like that. It's just awesome. It's just awesome. I think I strayed away a little bit from the question.
Oh, no, I was just wondering if you would be interested in doing Spanish speaking classes, but you said that you have other teachers you think that might be better at that?
I think it's just being shy about my Spanish, because I want it to sound as good as my English. Even though
Ah,
Spanish is my native tongue, it's a Castilian accent here that we tend to use, which is between Spaniard and in Colombia, it's spoken. It's very clear. You have to be more precise on how you say certain things in Spanish, and I think I have something that between a joke between some colleagues of mine here. We say we have a CS syndrome, a Colombian syndrome, because we're bilingual. So we tend to combine some Spanish with English, and then it becomes Spanglish. And then it's like, no, that's not the way we want to talk. We want to make sure
mm,
we're very formal with the way we present our language or our idioms or expressions.
okay.
But yeah, I will. I think I have a feeling I'll be having some conversation clubs, Spanish and English. There are conversation clubs that I would go to here, and I would meet so many foreigners from other places that I would be amazed. I would be like, hey, this is more like being back at home. In California, it's a metropolis of people coming and going, especially near Hollywood and everything. So it was interesting. And then I come here, and they're telling me, yeah, there's a place where you can learn natural. So that's where I'm leading to with the conversation clubs. Yeah, you can, you don't have to drink alcohol. You don't have to get drunk to speak better or to loosen your tongue. So we would meet, and then they would have different levels. So you have British English, American English, you have other countries that are coming to speak their language. People sit down and they want to just ask questions, and Q&A all evening. People get to make new contacts, and they actually get to practice their language in a natural, formal way. And that's probably one of the biggest events that occurred here in Bogota, what they called Gringo Tuesdays. And people were like, Gringo Tuesdays, okay. But then there were people from all over. So we had different flags all over the bars or areas that we would do the speaking conversation clubs at. And it became a really nice, popular event.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now all that is virtual, or how is that? Yeah.
Correct. So the other day, somebody had sent me a Zoom a day ahead of time, and I was like arguing with them. I'm like, how come I can't go into the conversation club, guys? And they said, No, Manny, look closely. It's for Friday, not for Thursday anymore. Okay.
Uh, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But I'd be very excited if, some of the people that was going to do Spanish teaching, like teaching courses, because I know in my family too, we want to learn Spanish more. So, yeah.
I look forward to it then, because what
Yes.
is traveling, like Teacher Andy says, traveling English. Well, traveling Spanish is necessary, and I like to teach anywhere from going how to catch the cab to the airport, how to get a guide, how to order food. Be a little bit more uh, versatile to everything that's around you. And if you're able to learn some of the natural or local slang or idioms that we tend to use. For example, we say, well, could you give me, a chocolate bar and a soda to go, or something like that. And in Spanish, we say me regalas, which is like as in a present. Can you just give it to me? Well,
Um,
nobody just gives it to you. It's just another formal way of saying, can you please give me one of these and one of those? So could you give it to me? And then no, nobody gives it to you. You have to pay for it, really, naturally. But it's just
mhm.
another way of communicating. Me regalas un café, me regalas un perico, me regalas un pan. So that's, could you give it away? No, it's not giving it away. It's just another formal way of asking how to get things. And it's
Can you
very,
say it again? Can you say it again?
me regalas
Me regalas
un café, por favor.
un café, por favor. Okay.
Perfecto, perfecto. Sí.
Yes. Yeah. Because that's another thing, because I've been taking Spanish technically, since I was in kindergarten, all the way up to like probably high school. But it's kind of the way that they teach it is just not in a way to really grasp the conversational Spanish. You're opening the textbook and then you're just reading the sentences, and so it's almost easier for me to read Spanish than it is for me to speak or like respond to it, not to mention all the different dialects and accents, which is also confusing. But it would be cool to do more of a conversational class through web talk if anyone is interested that's listening.
Yes,
That would
yes.
be very cool.
As soon as some people decide to, hey, Teacher Manny, we want to go ahead and sign up for your conversation club, that'd be great. I was challenged by a student from Bangladesh, and he said, Manny, when are you going to do some more classes? And I said, great. Now that the challenge is on, I need you to come up with some questions, some topics that you want to discuss, maybe related more to what field you're in, because I'm open-minded to make these types of conversation clubs at different levels. So I try to stick to like maybe an intermediate level of B1, B2, so people are more fond of being able to understand the dialogue. And since I tend to speak it fairly clearly, it helps. It helps for people to understand, and just by listening, which is the number one tool we tend to use here in Web Talk. And the
Yeah.
second one is communications. So the skills that are there, it just depends on the people that are teaching them, how they want to teach them. And that's the great thing about it, because we're not being picky about anything. And like other people have their own shows and things that they tend to do on here, that's great. But when you have a following of people and you're challenged, I like a challenge. I just avoid all conflict. So what happened was I said, okay, Tuesdays and Thursdays, we're going to do some business English classes. We did some classes on meetings. My next classes are going to be based on presentations, where I give people at least photo shots of what the content is so they can prepare for it in ahead of time. And when they want to participate, they just go ahead and comment on it and they want to participate. And then we can go ahead and open it for people. So it's it's really secure for us to do this on here. And that's what's great about that.
Yeah. That's great.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool. So I guess what are some other things that you see IEG has the potential to be? Do you see IEG possibly teaming up with some more nonprofits, working together? What are some of the visions that you have aside from what we spoke about tonight?
That's a really great question, Monique. Yeah, there's just a quick example of like a nonprofit organization here. I went to speak with somebody that I knew that would go to hospitals and deal with little kids and make them laugh and teach them things. And then I asked her, what happened with your nonprofit organization? She said, well, the other person had 51% and I didn't know anything about it. And then she just took it and ran with it. And not the nonprofit organization, but decided to open up restaurants or something, or a restaurant or something. And I said, oh, that's a shame. That's a shame. I said, well, I want to go ahead and build a nonprofit organization here in Colombia, which would be called Colombian Dreams, where what I would do is be just an organization that connects other nonprofit organizations that need funds. And as I see that everything is, organized, then I would be able to suggest money for those nonprofit organizations, with me knowing that I have nothing to do with the accounting or the money or what it's being used for. I would just be in the process of connecting and communicating the people with the right people so that they can make those funds function for the people that are in need, especially children and elderly people, that they can't work, they can't seem to reinvent themselves to try to make money. And that's something that's sad that's happening around. And a lot of it is bartering too, because I noticed that we're dealing with a lot of bartering.
Mm.
Things that you do for people, other things that you tend to trade or sell or do with others. But it's okay. I mean, it's one of the most ancient traditional things that we've used ever in history, because that's what we did. Okay, so I know of a little town that they make these things and they make jugs of water and everything. Well, in the next town, about 30 minutes away, they get over there, they have salt. So they would trade salt with the jars to carry water and everything. And that was just one of the ways that they would do it here. I'm not going to say any names because that's coming up from this gentleman telling me the story of how they used to do that with their neighbor.
Very cool. I'm just going to look at some more questions to see if there's anything else that I can ask you.
Yeah, IEG has a lot of potential to do a lot of great things. And right now, one of the things is supporting teachers and helping others. And, Web Talk helps support each other here on here. And now that we're all on here, we get to do that with many projects. I know you mentioned COVID also. And for me, this is a really nice project because I know that in South America, many people are going to be needing these tests. A lot of sports people that are going back to the college, people that are studying again, many kids in schools, many professionals want to make sure that they're not infected. Oh my goodness, it's a really big project. So once I'm able to have the kids come here and we're able to go ahead and register everything, and the FDA from Colombia approves it because the FDA of the US has it, but they want to make sure that everything is on the up and up for some reason. Well, that's going to be great because everybody's going to have access to it. And when we let people know, I mean, in 20 minutes, you're going to have a result that you can actually go into a stadium. You can go back to watching sports. You can go back to operas. You can go back to theater. You can go back to the university. And I would rather wait 20 minutes or a half hour before having to go in and know that I don't have to wear a mask, and know that I'm able to be, actually hug somebody back again. I mean, that's something to think that's grand. And to know that I'm going to be able to just help many people. And with the nonprofit organization talking about that, building it up, putting money into it, and looking for organizations to distribute money to. I mean, that's just another one of the projects. And then IEG also maybe building campuses, educational campuses for other people and helping teachers. I mean, that's another great project. There are a lot of little things behind the scenes that I don't want to, talk about too much, but
Okay.
it's a little bit mysterious, but yeah. All these things.
Yes. Okay. So what got you into teaching in the first place? What inspired you?
The need of communication, language. I have a logo that I put on my profile, and it says "Communicating the World." And then I made it like a little world with 2 rings around it, one for education and one for like success. And so I was like, okay, I didn't use it 10 years ago, but I still have the logo. I still have a company universal business language on there that I can use. And that's going to help me with the project of bringing the COVID kids and being actually more into a business sector of it, because they're going to approve it that much faster for many people to have access to it. So that's a positive thing. And then the nonprofit organization, I just think that's just going to grow within itself, because it's helping others, you know, and that's what we're here for. If we don't help each other now, and we don't let people, you know, be aware of like the educational, you mentioned also that you know about geoag, and then how they're doing, and what they're doing is fantastic. And to be able to tell people, you know, in their city where they don't have access to a lot of green areas or anything, but within their own little space, they can grow their own natural gardens and produce fruits or I mean vegetables within 3 weeks. I mean, and be able to consume. I mean, those are awesome projects, and that's why we say, I mean, coming on here and being able to do that at an educational level, superior and at no cost. I mean, that's just awesome. I think that's just great.
It is very. We have like a whole garden in our kitchen area and everything. So it's exciting. It's exciting to learn all these different things that we wouldn't know about otherwise, and the fact that we're
very innovative. That's what we keep saying.
Yes. And the fact that we all have, you know, we could support each other in doing those things too, so it doesn't seem, you know, a lonely type of venture, you know, especially now because of COVID. You know, it's so important that we find ways to connect. So yeah, it's very valuable stuff. You know, it's just like, you know, whenever I speak to teacher Andy or teacher Tim, they always say, you know, if Web Talk fails, like they don't think it will fail, but if it does fail, like at the end of the day, what we did, you know, was so meaningful. Like the group that we created with IEG is so meaningful that it wouldn't even matter. So it's good. It's great.
Yeah. It's reassuring. It's reassuring because it doesn't seem like it's something that's going to fail. It's something that, like we mentioned, it's innovative. It's something that's occurring now. There's a necessity for this. There's a need to put balance into what's going on around the world and in humanity with itself. And to give back, and to know that Web Talk gives back to people. I mean, I was just like, well, yeah, the money is definitely necessary, but the things that we get to do on here with no money necessary, and the things that you get back, you know, success within itself, I don't see it. I don't think of anything negative that could occur from this, because everything that's occurring is something that's a necessity for people to actually be involved with and communicate and help others. Yeah, I look at it as success.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. So if anyone is watching now, or if anyone watches later, please feel free to comment on some of the things that we discussed tonight. I'd love to hear your perspectives as well, everyone from the IEG community. So tell me what education means to you. What does IEG mean to you? Any other topics that we covered tonight. So thank you so much for joining, everyone.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Thanks for doing this. I appreciate it. And you know, like I said, it's kind of nice to be on the other side and just answer questions. So I do have one question for you before you go, and this is just a very simple question. What is your perception of IEG?
Wow, that's like
kind of and started seeing what's been going on. What's your perception?
I think that how do I that's just like there's so much. It's hard to like okay. So what I think is that what I see from IEG is that it's very socially conscious, and I think that makes it very unique in that it's more so about helping others in any way possible. So the fact that you guys are all wanting to connect to anyone and everyone who wants to help better humanity in whatever way they know, whether it's through geological agriculture, whether it's through teaching English, whether it's through poetry, whether it's through whatever, that you're just very inclusive to all those things. And you want to build this whole community that is composed of everyone's individual talents and passions. And it's just a very inclusive group, I feel. Yeah, I don't know how else to say. Did I answer the question, or?
Yeah. I was just kind of wondering how you kind of perceive what IEG is. And I think that, with the questions that you ask, I think that in itself is very, I mean, those are very in-depth kind of questions. And, I really appreciated getting those questions because it kind of sparks it back up, sparks back up that whole like, oh yeah, this has been something that has been going on. And, let's inform people. Let's get people back, back in thinking about IEG, because I have been, doing other things. And, I always want people to understand that IEG, the teachers, that's always in the back of my head. And what I'm doing is maybe because I'm not in, Web Talk doing a live, doesn't mean I'm not doing something for Web Talk and for IEG. So thank you very much for this. And, I don't want to, make you stay on longer, because this was a nice long conversation, but, I really appreciate it. And, thanks for doing that. It's awesome.
Of course, yes. And I'll keep everyone updated on what it is that I decide to do. I think now, I'm not holding on to it right now, but what I think that I want to do is somewhat analyze the IEG teachers' well-being. So kind of seeing, how, this sort of connectivity has impacted you in that way. And so, I mean, I have to do in my end, like research and like see how I can do that. But
right. And what's going to be awesome is people are going to see this, and teachers need to hear this. IEG teachers need to hear this, that if you want to be here and answers questions and be part of this, please leave your comments in either in Monique's post, which would be probably better, because then she'll see those comments. Now, when you're watching it, again, you might want to watch this on her news feed and respond on her news feed, so that, maybe she can start contacting some people and set some things up. Because I would love to hear what other people are saying about it, and love to hear what, their strengths and weaknesses are, because that's just going to help us be better too. So that's awesome. So, all right.
Thank you.
All right, cool. All right, guys. Web Talkers, watch this video because this is gonna be a great conversation to listen to. So, all right. I guess I'll go ahead and end it. Manny, thanks for coming in, and Monique,
thank you.
Thanks for doing the interview. That was awesome. And Tim, we'll talk to you probably in about 5 seconds.
Oh yes, teacher Andy. Oh yes, thank you. Monique, set up some time over the next couple days or weeks, and then we will do something together to expand your idea of what you were doing with teacher Andy and others with IEG. Okay?
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Cool. All right.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye.